Welcome back. I nearly said Big Mouth. Welcome back to Movies TV Mad and Movies TV Mad Live. We've got a bit to talk about tonight. We will wait for people to come into the stream, of course. How are you all doing tonight? I personally am doing very, very well. It's been a good day. When you have a good day, it feels good, right? So our headlines tonight are James Gunn clarifies the Suicide Squad runtime. We'll talk about that in a minute. I've got an actual interview with him I'm going to read out soon. Loki reaction. We'll be talking about the second episode of Loki. And we've had some Matrix test screenings as well that have had mixed reactions. So if you want to discuss that, we certainly can as well. So James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is about 2 hours and 12 minutes. He clarified it to a fan after a fan said he had a dream where it was going to be a very long movie, blah, 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 whatever else he said. And James Gunn goes, well, your dream was wrong, wasn't it? Because the movie is 2 hours and 12 minutes. So, wow. So The Suicide Squad by James Gunn is 2 hours and 12 minutes. We will wait for a few more people to come in before I read the interview with him with E! Entertainment. He pretty much sums up his Suicide Squad movie really, really well. So I just can't wait to see the finished article now. Just really excited about that. I shall read the interview in a minute. I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in. Yes, there has been some test screenings for The Matrix. And what's the other film that the Wazowskis did? I forgot. Cloud. I forgot what it was now. Oh, shit. Anyway, it's been compared to that. Apparently, the responses have been mixed. But the great thing about test screenings are if people are not happy with what they see, you can go back and maybe rewrite stuff, maybe reshoot stuff as well. So that's the environment we live in today. So it's not necessarily bad news if there's a mixed response to The Matrix. It's just that obviously you hope what you've done sits well with people. And when it doesn't, you do have to go back to the drawing board. I'm not even sure when The Matrix 4 releases. So can they go back and reshoot and rewrite? It's interesting. If they've had them now, but I think these test screenings are from a while back. And so, yeah, there's been mixed responses to The Matrix 4. So that's very interesting. We must remember not many people like Matrix 2 or Matrix 3. It's really the first one that everybody likes. So The Matrix 4 won't be for everyone. So that's interesting. So before I read that James Gunn article, I'm going to talk about Loki. I feel this was a much better, faster-paced episode. Suzuki Gigsaw, why rename the channel? Oh, well, I explained to you. Big Mouth sums up my personality, but it doesn't tell people what I talk about. Movies TV Mad sums up what this channel is, because I'm mad about movies and TV. So that's why I changed the name of the channel, so more people can come in. They can say, right, he talks about movies and TV, Suzuki Gigsaw, and that's why I changed the name. It's all about branding. TG Mick. Hello, TG. Suzuki Gigsaw. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's why I changed the name. So if you're just coming in, our headlines are James Gunn clarifies the Suicide Squad runtime. The runtime is 2 hours, 12 minutes. It's a nice packaged runtime, about the same runtime as Terminator 2. So that's pretty good. I'm about to talk about Loki episode 2. The Matrix 4 has had mixed reactions in its test screenings as well. That's interesting. But as I said, people didn't really like Matrix 2 or Matrix 3. So this film could end up being quite divisive. What film isn't divisive these days? Because with social media, everyone's opinions are like a-holes, right? Everyone's got one. So I can't wait to see that as well. I don't know when these Matrix test screenings actually happen, so that's interesting. I've got an interview with James Gunn to read as well, so we're going to do that very shortly. I don't think we're going to get too many more in, which is sad. We've already lost one viewer already. So should we go? Let's talk about Loki. So Loki episode 2 really builds on what they did in the first episode. There is a brilliant moment at the beginning, a hilarious moment, when Loki is attempting to swap Miss Minutes. Pre that, he asks her if she's really there or if she's a recording. And she clarifies it's a little bit of both. It's a bit like, I suppose, Alexa in a way, isn't it? So he's trying to swap her, which is fucking hilarious. But what I enjoy about this series is Owen Wilson and obviously the actor who plays Loki, Tom Hiddleston. They're doing, the chemistry between them is so good. It's really like a procedural cop show in a way. You've got two cops in a way. They're partnering, but one happens to be a villain and one's a cop. There's some interesting discussions there in terms of Loki mocking Morbius for believing in the timekeepers. Loki does not believe. But what Morbius says, I believe to have faith in this. I believe one day when we stop all these time variants, everything will be okay. And Loki doesn't believe any of this. Now, I don't know if the timekeepers are actually real. That's another thing. So that was a very interesting discussion. This episode builds and builds and builds. As Loki takes, there's a brilliant sequence when Loki takes Morbius to Pompeii before the volcano erupts. And Loki's going for it. He's going, you're all going to die. I have dark tidings for you. Absolutely brilliant and hilarious. I love that bit as well. And so what Loki's trying to say to him is, if there's an apocalypse, this variant can go and do whatever the fuck he wants. Well, we think it's a he, but actually it's the female version of Loki. So I don't know what that's all about, but she does tell him at the end, this is not about you. So this is obviously about Kang the Conqueror. Is that what you call him? Now, apparently Kang the Conqueror will be in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So he's obviously a time traveler. Quantumania is a realm in space and time, I think. I'm not quite sure how it works. Is that going to be his first appearance? The actor has actually denied that he's going to appear in Loki, but of course he would deny it if that was happening. Marvel are very, very strict with all of that. And I really like this kind of dynamic between Loki and that security guard or that security woman who hates his guts. They have to partner up together. John, hi there. Hi, John. Good evening to you. It's Cyprus. It's about 25 minutes past 8. Everything is well, of course. And we're just reviewing Loki. And I was just talking about how I loved when Miss Minutes and when Loki was trying to swap Miss Minutes. I thought that was hilarious. So he persuades Morbius that this is where the variant is going. He's there at an apocalypse. Of course, prior to that, when they go and investigate another variant or whatever it's called, right, Loki convinced them that they can't leave the room. Well, he nearly does. But then Morbius obviously works out that it's a whole con. I actually believed Loki, but there you go, more for me. I would have been dead or something. God knows what Loki was planning. So that was great as well. So it was actually very, very interesting as we get to the end. And by the ending, Loki goes into some kind of time portal where his variant has gone. So I don't know how that's going to play out. I found this episode a lot more interesting than the first. Obviously, the first episode was set up. I feel they dragged it out far too much. But I think the dialogue was better in this episode. I really enjoyed it. I think it did a good job of what it was attempting to do. So I'm really into this relationship now with Morbius and Loki. Morbius wants to believe in Loki. He wants to kind of give him a chance. John, I never thought Owen Wilson would be in the MCU. I mean, it's a great coup. I can't believe it. I love Owen Wilson. He's done so many things, and tragically, quite a few years back, he tried to take his own life, and I'm happy he's doing better within his life as well. He's an uncomplicated actor. That's what I like about him. He's not boring on social media. He keeps to himself. And that's what I like about actors, because it's actually refreshing. But it is amazing that Owen Wilson is actually in an MCU project. But I do believe because they did have a conversation. He was talking about wanting to go skiing or something, jet skiing in the 90s. Maybe that's how his story ends, that in the end he decides to go and stay in the 90s and jet ski, and Loki becomes or takes his position. Of course, Morbius did say, "You'll be taking my job next." So I think this is foreshadowing. I think Loki will get his position. I think Loki will be involved with Secret Wars along with Nick Fury and Steve Rogers, who I believe is there somewhere in the TVA for breaking the time rules, the Time Variant Association's rules. And so I think we will see Steve Rogers cameoing at some point in Loki. So that's very interesting as well. I'm going to give this episode I think this episode deserves 8.5 out of 10. It wasn't the perfect episode, but it was very entertaining and very interesting. Just seeing Tom Hiddleston as Loki is reward enough for me. But this dynamic between him and Owen Wilson is really good. And what I also like about this show, you really don't know where it's headed. You don't know who could turn up. So yes, a very interesting second episode, and we'll see where it goes from here. John, hopefully we will get a season 2. These shows don't seem to be going for season 2s, and I think that's unlikely. Although, if he does take Owen Wilson's job, then yes. But I do believe he's going to be in Secret Wars with Steve Rogers and a few other familiar faces. Nick Fury's in that as well. So I'm very excited about Secret Wars as well. I think Loki will be involved. And as I say, Steve Rogers is there. I'm sure of it. He's there at the TVA somewhere. He would have been picked up immediately when he went to spend the rest of his life with Peggy Carter. But then again, he did come back afterwards, didn't he, as Old Man Steve. Where is Old Man Steve? Maybe the time the TVA picked him up after Endgame. Who knows? It's going to be very interesting because no one in Falcon and the Winter Soldier would kind of tell us where he is. Maybe he disappeared and they thought he went to the moon or something, like they kind of referenced or something like that. Something like that. If he vanished, it looks like the TVA have got him. That makes perfect sense. So that's Loki. I'm enjoying watching that once a week. Disney Plus have decided to premiere all their Marvel and Star Wars stuff from now on Wednesdays instead of Fridays, which is really, really good news. I'm really excited about that. Anything that gives us this stuff a couple of days early can only be good for the consumer. Right. There's an interview with James Gunn. James Gunn calls The Suicide Squad a war caper movie with shitty supervillains. John, where is everyone? I have no idea, John. It looked well. They both had vaccines today, I think. So they may be feeling a little worse for wear. I did assume that Ronnie Dodge would feel bad. I just had a feeling. So they may be out of action because of the vaccine. I'm going to have to carry on. I mean, I am part of a small channel. There's not many people who come into these things, but I like doing them. And if there's 0 people watching, there's 0 people watching. I will carry on until I make this channel successful. I know I'm not successful right now, but I won't give up. I think I'm providing a good service. I think the way I do the entertainment stuff, the way I talk about stuff, I think it's good. And I think, as they said in Field of Dreams, people will come. People will come eventually. So, new DC movie stars, Margot Robbie. She's not a new DC movie star. Where have you been? Idris Elba, Viola Davis, many, many more. TG, effing good man, dedication. Thank you, TG. Oh yeah, we're not gonna cry, TG, just because we don't have 1 million subscribers. We're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep on doing what we do on this channel, and we'll see where we go with it. Because at the end of the day, I'm passionate about movies and TV. That's why I've called myself Movies TV Mad, and I will carry on doing this. You know how some people have difficulty summing up their movies? James Gunn is not one of them. It's a war caper movie with shitty supervillains, says the Guardians of the Galaxy director. Synchronicity of his latest comic book adaptation, The Suicide Squad, in theatres and on HBO Max on August the 6th. TG, exactly, mate. Thank you, TG. This new take on the heels of David Ayer's maligned but profitable 2016 movie Suicide Squad launches a separate storyline, but once again stars Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Jay Courtney as Captain Boomerang, and Joel Kinnaman as Cole Rick Flag, who attempt to keep our jailbird anti-heroes in line. Viola Davis also reprises her role of Squad mastermind Amanda Waller, who this time around sends Quinn and Co. on a mission to the fictional Latin American country of Corto Maltese. Corto Maltese has alien materials they're trying to weaponize to use against the United States and the rest of the world, says producer Peter Safran. The Suicide Squad are told to go there and destroy Jotunheim, which is the giant fortress Robbie, no stranger to big budget movies, was in awe of the Atlanta sets. The first set we shot on was this beach, says the Birds of Prey star. It was so amazing. Palm trees, an ocean with a wave machine in it. What is that? Pyrotechnics, special effects, explosions everywhere. It was like being in a proper crazy war movie. Yeah, because Gunn does a lot via the cameras, which is really exciting. Did you just follow me on Twitter, TG? If you did, thank you. The squad's many new members include Polka Dot Man, David the Smashkin Weasel, Sean Gunn, Ratcatcher 2, Daniel Melchior, Blackguard Pete Davidson, Savant Michael Rooker, and Bloodsport Idris Elba, who originally appeared in the Superman comic as gun-toting enemy of the titular hero. He's a real reluctant member of the squad, says Elba. Ben Pottimeyer, do you think Henry will be in the Flash movie as Superman? I heard he didn't do the Shazam cameo because he only had one contract left and didn't want it as a small cameo, so maybe a role in the Flash. Right. Whatever you've heard about one contract, forget about it. Forget about his contract status. As far as I'm concerned, he's going to cameo in Shazam Fury of the Gods. He's going to have a smaller cameo in Black Adam. And I even suspect he may get a short little clip in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. But that's just my theory. But I expect him to be in Fury of the Gods and in Shazam and in Black Adam as well. That's what I expect. I believe he's still Superman. I believe he will get some kind of movie in the future as well. If he wasn't Superman anymore, Henry and his representatives would have told us. Now, you know, David F. Sandberg told you the truth why he wasn't in the first film. Because of scheduling. Henry's a very busy actor. It's just that. TG, I'm admin for Ristada Snyder. I didn't realize I didn't follow you on my main. Oh, right. Well, it's good that you follow me. I'll try and follow you back after the stream. Thank you very much, TG. And it's great to know who you actually are. That's brilliant. Right, the squad, says Elba. He's a bit grumpy. He's not the warmest guy. Yeah, just playing myself, really. John Cena is Peacemaker, who's obsessed with keeping things conflict-free no matter how much mayhem ensues. He has this moral code that seems skewed by the amount of violence he inflicts, says Safran of Cena's character, who has already been gifted his own HBO Max spin-off show. It's like fucking for virginity. He's fighting for peace. God. Oh, dear. So that's that article. So that's very interesting. They didn't give us too much there, did they? But yeah, so it's all starting to ramp up for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which is very, very exciting. So anyone who wasn't on the stream earlier on, I will go back and tell you that James Gunn's The Suicide Squad has been confirmed with its runtime. The runtime is 2 hours and 12 minutes. James quote tweeted a fan asking him. So that's been verified. Now, there's also been a few Matrix 4 test screenings, and they've had mixed reactions. Cloud Atlas, it's been compared to Cloud Atlas. That's the name I was looking for. I actually like Cloud Atlas, but it was a flop. So it's been compared to that film. The test screeners had a mixed reaction. So I don't know when this film's being released. I don't know if these test screenings were months ago and they reshot and rewrote some stuff. I don't know, but it's very interesting. Don't forget, there was divisive opinions about Matrix 2 and 3. So I would expect nothing less with Matrix 4. The first one really is the one everybody loves. So that's very interesting as well. So Ben, yes, you can be rest assured that Henry Cavill is still Superman. You will see him again. And if he wasn't going to be Superman, him and his representatives would have announced that, because that's how these things work. Because he's Superman. It's massive. You can't just creep away from that. And you can't creep away from it he's still Superman at the end of Justice League. So at the end of the day, he's still there. John, do you think we will get Nicolas Cage Superman in Flashpoint? John, I absolutely believe that's going to happen, or at least a possibility. I've always believed it. I think there's many characters. Ben Pottimer, so maybe WB will have a black Superman in a separate universe and see where it goes, and keep Henry will be around in the future DCU projects. That was always the plan, Ben. That's what the Hollywood Reporter reported about a month or so ago about the J.J. Abrams produced Black Superman movie. That is part of another universe, but it's taken from a comic book. It's a comic book adaptation. So this is why I was trying to calm people down. You know, J.J. Abrams' Black Superman is not replacing Henry Cavill. That was never the case. So people can be rest assured about that. So, yes. And going back to the Nicolas Cage thing, I've been pretty certain about this for quite a while. Now, I have a theory about Flashpoint and these cameos. I believe when Barry Allen goes back to his world, it will be very different, of course. He's rebooted the universe. I believe that in the world he goes back to, there will be, what's it called? What's the fucking Justice League base? Watchtower. There'll be a watchtower hovering in the sky. He goes there at the end and he sees about 60 members of this brand new multiverse Justice League. And all around him, you're going to see these cameos. I think that could be the situation. I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen, but that would be a neat way of doing all these cameos. What do you think? Ben Pottimer, okay, I didn't know JJ said it's a separate universe. Well, the Hollywood Reporter did an article, and it wasn't a bullshit article. They were quoting the studio, so that's what's going on. People should have read that article. I read it here. People really need to listen before they, jump down the studio's throat. And sometimes I think it's just a reaction to say, WB! If we read what's said, and that was always the case, that's why I'm quite relaxed and looking forward to J.J. Abrams' Superman-produced movie and looking forward to seeing Henry back. As I say, if Henry was going, we would know. Ronnie Dodge, hello, mate. Hello, Ronnie. How are you feeling after your vaccine, young man? Seven people in the chat, 5 likes, not bad, not a bad ratio for a small YouTuber. So just to update everyone, Ronnie's just come in. So The Matrix 4 has had some kind of mixed responses in its test screenings. James Gunn's confirmed that the Suicide Squad is 2 hours, 12 minutes. TG, Mick, mate, very sorry, I've got to go, lad. I'll check out your next video. Stay safe. Thank you for coming in, TG. Please leave a like if you can be bothered, and I'll follow you back on that Twitter account when I check it a bit later on after this stream. But see you later and be safe. Thank you for your support. Yeah, these streams are definitely not on the best times, but I'm afraid it's the only time I can do them. Ben Pottimer, it makes sense. Tim Burton was supposed to make the Superman and Flash. The Flash is meeting Burton's Batman. Nick Cage would be so cool for the hardcore Superman fans to show up. Absolutely, Ben, because Nicolas Cage is a diehard Superman fan. He had Action Comics #1 for years until he sold it for charity. This would be a massive thing for Nick Cage to finally put on that Superman costume. Now, whether it's that costume we saw on those YouTube videos, I don't know. And yes, Nicolas Cage was going to be Superman in Michael Keaton's Batman's universe. So maybe there's some history between them as well. So that will be very exciting if it happens, and I would absolutely love it, and I believe it is going to happen. Ronnie Dodge, yeah, my arm is a bit achy now, but I'm good and glad I had it, definitely. We got no choice, Ronnie, whether we're happy or not about it. I have my reservations about it, but they got us by the balls and we have to have it. It's aircon time. So who's seen Loki? I've done a little mini review of Loki on here already. What did you all think of Loki episode 2? Are you looking forward? Are you looking forward to the other episodes? Did you enjoy this week's? I enjoyed this week's episode of Loki. I think it's getting interesting. I love the dynamic between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. I think the characters are working out well together. It's a bit like a comic show procedural. A cop show procedural. I'm liking it. It's not the best thing ever. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's good. And it basically, these Disney Plus shows for Star Wars and the MCU are just building up the movies. That's where the money is. Ronnie Dodge, watched the second episode again earlier. I really enjoyed it. Then this morning. Yes, I enjoyed it. I think it was cool. I think it's heading to a really interesting place. All roads lead to Kang the Conqueror. All roads lead to the multiverse. And yeah, I really do believe that Secret Wars is the one to watch. I think Secret Wars is going to be amazing, especially with Nick Fury, aka Samuel L. Jackson, involved. That should be awesome. John, can't wait to see 89 Gotham City in the Flash movie. Yeah, everyone's going to be trying to see if they've done a good job with rebuilding it. That's going to be amazing. That's actually something I'm really looking forward to. Ben Pottimeyer, what did you think of Bruce Wayne in the Titans series? Well, the actor from Game of Thrones, he did a good job. Yeah, I like him. I think he's a great choice for Bruce Wayne. I think he's a great actor. It's a very good choice, by the way. It's actually a very good choice. An older Batman as well. And they're all part of the multiverse now, you see. This is what's so exciting. Everyone is part of this live-action universe now. How awesome is that? I hope you all enjoyed my Snyderverse video earlier. If you haven't seen it, check it out after this stream, of course, and make sure you like the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you're here and you like what you see, why wouldn't you? Subscribe, click that little notification bell as well. Ronnie Dodge, can't wait to hear Keaton's theme again. It's his theme, not for Ben. Isn't that right, Danny Elfman? Well, actually, I was thinking this while I was listening to these themes while I was having a shower today, and I was thinking maybe they were hinting the multiverse in Justice League when they played Reeves' Superman theme and Keaton's Batman theme. What do you think about that, Ronnie? Maybe the whole thing was a hint for the multiverse. I mean, Danny Elfman is an iconic composer. He got sucked into something, and I'm sure he regrets it now. I was listening to Keaton's theme earlier. It's so haunting. It's so awesome. It's so perfect. It really is. And I was also thinking Jack Nicholson as the Joker. How did Burton get that casting? That was sensational casting. Sensational. Ronnie Dodge. I didn't of that, Mick. Good catch. Yeah. I think that was a hint. Because Walter Hamada's been planning this multiverse since 2018. Remember the Worlds of DC? That's what he wanted to call the franchise. It didn't stick, but he's clearly been planning this for a very long time. I'm very perceptive, Ronnie. I know exactly what's going on. Sometimes I don't even need to talk to people to know what's going on. Although I got it wrong about Perry White being the Nick Fury of the Justice League. I really wanted that. I really thought that Perry White in the DCEU was like undercover or something, and he was going to get the Justice League together. I think that would have been a great idea. Ronnie Dodge, I wonder if Danny will do Batgirl as the directors was listening to the Batman 89 score a couple of weeks ago. Maybe. I wonder if Danny DeVito will do Batgirl as the directors was listening to the Batman 89 score. But Danny DeVito's Penguin's dead, isn't he, Ronnie? That's the problem. I think if you're dead, you're dead. Well, John, is 89 Batmobile your favourite? Do you know what? The 1966 Batmobile is my favourite, John, if I'm honest. But I like Burton's Batmobile. I like Snyder's Batmobile. And I really adore the Tumbler from the Dark Knight trilogy. I think that was a great idea. So cool. Are you wondering if Danny Elfman will do the score? You never know. You never know. You never know. Honestly, anything is possible in this game now. But she would have to be from that universe, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, she wouldn't have to be part of that universe. But yeah, why not? Why couldn't he do it? I mean, we're talking multiverse. You know, it could be multiverse for the composers as well, couldn't it? So why not? Especially with Michael Keaton's Batman training her. I would assume that Batgirl movie they're doing, Michael Keaton will be all over that. Possibilities, everyone. The DCEU, the DC live action universe is full of possibilities. What's great about the multiverse is that you can watch some of it. If you don't want to watch, if some of it doesn't ring your bell, Arrowverse no longer rings my bell. So, although I watch Superman and Lois, I can't at the moment, but I will get back to it when it's available to me. Ronnie Dodge, because isn't Keaton supposed to be training her? That's what Grace Randolph said, for better or for worse. So I expect her to be involved. I expect him to be involved, if that's the case, in the Batgirl movie. John, will Gal Gadot be in the Flash? Apparently, someone, was it Chris Wong Svensson, said her name was on the IMDb cast list. I mean, even without that, I expect all these cast members to be in it. I mean, the DCEU Justice League, definitely. Obviously, you've got to subtract Ray Fisher away from that because he doesn't want to work with Walter Hamada. So I'm afraid that's life, isn't it? I didn't want to work with some of my bosses at the co-op and my other employment, but I did it. What was I going to say? Accountability overeating at night. But a rich man can have his morals, you see. All these SJWs and all these extremists are all wealthy. Wealthy people with a silver spoon in their mouths. Even Ray Fisher. Don't make assumptions about Ray Fisher that he's some working class lad. He's not. If you were starving, they would step over you to have a man telling a woman to smile. This is how insane these people are. And I have absolutely no time for them. But yes, John, Gal Gadot will be in the Flash movie, absolutely. Sam the General Hughes, I heard Gal is leaving after Wonder Woman 3. There's been no clarification of that, Sam, so I can't help you there. At this moment in time, she's still Wonder Woman. Ronnie Dodge, gonna go, mate. Gonna have my dinner. I thought I'd pop in to let you know I'm okay. Also, Ronnie, glad to know you're okay, and I'll see you later on. Thank you very much. John, and Justice League was Ray Fisher's Frisk movie. Well, listen, you can have issues with what's going on a set, but at the end of the day, you're no different to anyone else. If you don't like it, don't be part of the industry. Sam Hughes, is Jason Momoa in the Flash? I would assume so. Yeah, I think everyone is. I think all the members of the Justice League would have to be, just for a short time. I don't think they'll have big screen time in it, but yeah, this is Ezra Miller's film. Let's not forget that. But yes, I expect to see him in there. I think everyone apart from Ray Fisher will be in the Flash movie. Definitely from the Justice League. No question about that. Sandra Hughes, Ping Pong Flicks made a video about Henry Cavill wanting to be in The Flash. Yeah, probably someone asked him and he just says, yeah, I want to be in it. Basically, they're under strict orders not to confirm that they're in the movie. So Henry's in the movie. I don't know where Henry said this. I don't know what was going on. He must have been speaking publicly or something, or on his Instagram. In fact, I better follow him on his Instagram. He actually hasn't been on his Instagram for a while. He must be busy. I wonder why. Yeah, I caught the title of that Ping Pong Flicks video. So, yeah, that's good to hear, isn't it? He's responding to questions like that. I expect him to be in there anyway. All the Justice League, apart from Cyborg, will be in that movie. For sure. They're all under contract. They all have to do it. They all want to do it because they want to work in the industry. Ray Fisher's a millionaire, billionaire, obviously. Maybe his dad's an oil tycoon or something, and he can afford to do the old, what was it called? That thing over entertainment, right? But some people like the entertainment industry and want to carry on working on it, Ray. So there you go, mate. I mean, that guy who got fired from Forbes because he did that interview with Ray Fisher is still waiting for Ray Fisher to get his job back. So you can't trust anything Ray Fisher says. John, Cyborg will be in Flashpoint, not Ray Fisher. Yeah, definitely, yeah. They're very good at coping with things like this. But like this, they would have had another plan anyway. They knew he was a problem anyway. They were probably quite relieved. I think that Andy Machete just talking to him would have realised what a difficult customer he is. Unfortunately, Ray Fisher thinks he can dictate what's in a story, how it's perceived, and you can't go around. These people are serious people. They're trying to make a film. They can't have you dictating Mr. No CV, you know. It doesn't matter if you support or don't support Ray Fisher at the end of the day. He's not the boss. He's not in charge of anything. He's not running the studio. He will never run the studio. He will never dictate anything. And I mean, if he thinks he's going to follow Toby Emmerich around wherever he works and get him sacked from everywhere, that's not how life works. The problem is with Ray Fisher, he acts like these people are murderers or something. I mean, what he's talking about are misdemeanor sins, you know, at the end of the day. Oh, Jeff Johns threatened my job. Yeah, welcome to the entertainment industry, mate. Normally, that happens all the time. Joss Whedon threatening Gal Gadot's career. Directors and actors always have run-ins all the time. It's nothing new. Jesus Christ. I mean, Dick Donner was sacking his DP on Superman the movie every day, and he'd come back to work. They were good friends. So these things happen. And when you hear all these revelations, it's, to me, because I know how it all works, it's not surprising to me. People argue. Don't you argue with people at work? Isn't there a few people that are a bit nasty at work? Isn't that how life is? Why are we so shocked when footballers argue behind closed doors, or footballers and managers, or entertainers? Why are we so shocked? Oh my God, they don't get on. You mean all that stuff they were saying in the bonus features is a lie and they're not friends? Yes! It's all bullshit. Of course it is. It's for marketing purposes. Wake up and smell the coffee. They're just like all other industries. They're not friends. They don't see each other. Look at the Friends cast. They only met each other up at the reunion. They hadn't seen each other for years. That's how it works. Why don't people understand that people in the entertainment industry are just like you and me? They're people. Ray Fisher just doesn't seem to get it. You know, you want to go after them. You want accountability. Who are you accountable for? For making people's lives a living hell on the set, questioning everything they do. Oh, I didn't want to be like Arnold from Different Strokes and have a kind of a phrase. Well, you know, I'm a Greek Cypriot. If I had that fucking phrase, I wouldn't be offended. Oh, because you're black? Well, my parents are immigrants. They immigrated to the UK as youngsters, right? I've got Greek Cypriot blood. I was born and bred in the UK, right? What's the difference between you and me, Ray? Nothing. Oh, you think because you're black that you know you can have the victimhood? No. All of us with parents from minority backgrounds or different countries who come to other countries have faced the same shit. Why is it different for you? This is the problem with these people. They have fans. They live in a bubble. They don't live in a real world. But do I believe Warner Brothers is a racist company? No, I don't. I do not believe Warner Brothers is a racist company. Because David Ramsey's directing loads of flipping Arrowverse shows this year. Is that racism? Is Denzel Washington working with Warner Brothers many, many years ago? Does that prove that, you know, at the end of the day, we can scream racism. As minorities, we can scream racism every 5 minutes. But it doesn't make it true. Through our paranoia, through our experiences. And as I say, my parents are from minority backgrounds, right? Immigrants. So I know what it's all about. Just because I don't look like a minority, don't take this face in the skinhead as I don't experience it. But Ray Fisher wants to scream racism all the time. And that kind of winds me up. As I say, these people would step over a hungry child, a homeless child, to make their SJW points of view. Ray Fisher doesn't care about Cyborg. Ray Fisher doesn't care about DC. He cares about his own agenda. And I'm not going to be part of that agenda. I fell for it. Then I realized what he was playing at. And I'm not interested. He said the angry black man thing was racist, but it wasn't. They were concerned about stereotyping a black actor and a black character. That's the truth. They weren't being racist. I think they were being a bit SJW there. But at the end of the day, this is the problem now. Everyone's so scared of everything. And it's never going to go back to the old days. We've got social media now. Everyone's watching you with a fine-tooth comb. Imagine being a creative now. Everything you do and say, every script you write is looked over by the diversity board. It must be impossible. I feel really sorry for them. I wouldn't really enjoy being in mainstream entertainment. I really wouldn't. Having people taking the magnifying glass to my script to make sure it's inclusive. Fuck off. I'm sorry. We live in a crazy world. A crazy world. And I mean, let's look at it. How much representation do Chinese films have? How much representation do Bollywood films have? Now, this is an important point, a very important point. How much representation do we have on our television and film here in Cyprus? None. All these other countries don't represent really well. But in America and the UK and Australia and other English-speaking countries, we're bending over backwards, right? But if you go to these other countries, there's not much inclusion there, right? Do you understand? Now, I'm not saying they're wrong for not being inclusive. They're in their own country. They're predominantly representing their own culture. And that's the way it should be. You should be representing your own culture. And of course, there should be some black people there and some Asian people there. And obviously, women should be represented like men. And now, obviously, we have other genders, we have other identifications, other pronouns, and they need representation. That's a different thing. But when you're being forced not to represent the culture of the country that you're working in as a broadcaster, as a filmmaker, I think that's a bit fucked up. That's not racist, by the way. That's not racist. That's true. America obviously is a multicultural country. So is the UK, and I understand that. And you could be born in the UK and be black. That means you're an Englishman. Of course, there should be a certain element of representation. I just think people have gone nuts and they've gone overboard about it, and that's just my opinion. Because if we don't predominantly represent the culture of the country we're basing, we make our stuff in, then that's a little bit messed up. And of course, representation matters to a point. But I'd rather see commentary in a film about a starving child than some woman crying because a man asked her to smile, like in Captain Marvel. But these people don't care about starving children. These people care about talking points, identity politics. That's not the most important talking point in the world, and that's a fact. And that's my opinion about that. Probably going to get me in trouble. People don't agree. You don't have to agree, but that's my opinion about it. Storytelling and entertainment is last, and identity politics is first. That's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. It doesn't matter if you believe in all this crap. It doesn't. We are in an entertainment industry to entertain people. And if our priority isn't entertainment anymore, we shouldn't really be in the industry. This industry has been infested by extremists, and that's a problem. They are killing this industry, and that is my opinion. And I don't know how more clearly I can put it. Of course, I'm a 48-year-old man. I have some old-fashioned views. But also, I think there's a lot of younger people who think the same thing. Not all of them, of course. I think we go onto Twitter and we see what these people from the entertainment industry say. Sometimes I just have to keep on scrolling so I don't respond to them or unfollow them or whatever, because I look up to you for your art. But if you're going to bore on about identity politics and how bad us men are, I'm not very interested. I'm not interested at all. I follow you because I look up to you, your talent, your artistry. I don't care about anything else. Now, I understand you have a right to talk about what you want on social media, as we have. That's not the point. It's the way you talk. It's the way you put your points. That's the problem. It's toxic. It's triggering. And you are a problem. Because you're not kind. You're not compassionate. It's like Patty Jenkins with Wonder Woman 84, with the moral that she had in the movie about not being too greedy. Jesus Christ, love, you're working in the most greedy fucking industry in the world, and you're going to lecture ordinary working class people about not being greedy? How dare you? How effing dare you? They're hypocrites. I love them. I love their talent. I love their art, but they're all hypocrites, and I'm sick of them. Sick of them. And I'm just glad I have all my bits and pieces, all my films and TV shows I grew up with that I loved watching in the 90s and early noughties, and I don't have to worry about it. Young Lord, is Grant Gustin going to cameo in The Flash? He is Young Lord. Very exciting, don't you think? I always thought he would anyway. I didn't really need any confirmation of that. It's pretty obvious. This is a multiverse strategy. This is Flashpoint. There are going to be other Earths represented. And obviously, Ezra Miller and Grant Gustin will reunite for a second time, which is really exciting, Young Lord, don't you think? I do. I think a lot of hardcore DC fans are excited about the Flash movie. I certainly am. But I can still want to restore the Snyderverse. I can do both. And God help anyone who tells me I can't. I think it's an exciting time to be a DC fan, no matter what the negative people say. I really do. I think it's amazing. Look what we got this year. Zack Snyder's Justice League is an excellent film, whether you like him or not. The Suicide Squad, from what I saw in the test screening, is sensational. I didn't see the whole movie, for anyone who doesn't know that. So I'm looking forward to seeing the finished article. We've got a lot to look forward to. Matt Reeves' The Batman in March. You know, next year is huge, not just in movie theatres, but on HBO Max for DC as well. Peacemaker, Green Lantern Corps, Gotham PD. You know, God knows who else. What else? So I, for one, I genuinely, when I wake up in the morning, and I'm going to be sad here, when I wake up in the morning, all I think about is entertainment and movies and TV. And, you know, before I go to bed, I think about the same thing. I'm just a geek. I'm obsessed. That's why I do this thing. I mean, look at the views I've got and the subscribers. I'm not doing it because lots of people are interested in what I've got to say. I mean, I could be talking to myself and I would still do this. I just love talking about entertainment. It's just brilliant. And I'm passionate about it. And I think that you lot are passionate about it as well. I think you're like me. We're the same. We're just fans conversing. And I think 5 people or even 2 people talking on a stream is absolutely fine. I'm not ashamed of that. I welcome anyone. If I was just talking to one person on a live stream, that would be success to me. It's about the connections we make. It's about meeting other people who love this stuff as well. And too many people on YouTube are too interested in the kind of influencer thing, making money, subscribers. And you notice the difference when someone's starting out on YouTube. They're a lot more themselves and you could kind of like them and subscribe to them. But when they become successful, they change the way they do things. They're very kind of focused. They're aware of how successful they've become. That's when I unfollow people when they change, because I followed you for a reason. If you're not willing to stick to the principles that made you big, I'm not gonna follow you anymore. I'm not gonna support you. If all you're gonna do is pretend you're genuine when you're not, and tell other people how to think and have a go at people because they don't think like you, then I'm not interested in you. I'm interested in you guys. I'm interested in the fans because I am a fan. I'm no better. I'm not above you. I'm just a bored 48-year-old geezer who loves entertainment, loves TV drama, loves movies. That's me. I mean, years gone by, before I started all this, I used to, like, every morning, I used to watch every single American TV show. I'll be watching The Event. I'll be watching Smallville, everything. Anything you can think of, every show that was on. And I used to review every fucking TV show on Twitter, on my old account, which was called Smallville Mad. That's why I used to be called, because I was obsessed with Smallville. So I'm really passionate about stuff. So back in the day, I was watching everything. It's not the same now. I've lost a lot of love for a lot of this modern day entertainment and movies, but I still have knowledge. I still don't know what's going on. I mean, these days, the good thing is if you don't want to watch something, people talk about it on social media. So you pretty much know what's going on, and there's news all the time, and people are feeding me stuff as well. So I'm here out of passion, not out of greed. I don't need money. I don't need this to be successful. I'm doing well in my career here in Cyprus. John, Batman Forever has been trending on Twitter. Yes, because they're fighting for the Schumacher Cup. It hasn't been announced, has it? If it's been announced, we can break it here right now and talk about it. I absolutely love Joel Schumacher. Phone Booth is one of my favourite movies of all time. Has anyone seen Phone Booth? If you have, let me know what you think of it. I think it's a brilliant movie. I may watch it tonight, by the way. Colin Farrell's best performance as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Joel Schumacher. I like Batman Forever. I like Batman and Robin. Of course, you can't compare them to BVS or the Dark Knight trilogy, but they were fun. Joel Schumacher, the studio wanted him to sell toys, basically. They're really entertaining films. Just don't think too deeply about them. Don't overanalyze things. Stop overanalyzing things that I grew up with, for fuck's sake. Do you remember the days we used to enjoy our entertainment? Now we talk about it more than fucking watch it. That's what the shame of it is. Young Lord, much respect to you, man. Thank you, Young Lord. It's always great to meet respectful people, mutually respectful people who want to talk geek. It's called John. Yes, I have. And it's a great movie. Oh, Phone Booth is fucking brilliant. And my Stan my Stan, Kiefer Sutherland, is the fucking voice behind the phone. At the time, he was doing 24 as well. I love Kiefer Sutherland. I actually met him once, which he won't remember. When I was living in Hollywood for 6 months. I was living around there. I was trying to make it big in LA, and I did meet some people, and I did meet him once, and he's a very polite gentleman, very polite. He's got a really firm handshake, really firm, Kiefer. You're going to need some painkillers afterwards, but it was an honour. I didn't wash my hands for about a day, honestly. I know that's disgusting, but come on, Kiefer Sutherland's a fucking legend. It's Jack fucking Bauer. If Jack fucking Bauer touched your hand, would you wash it? Of course you wouldn't. My name's Special Agent Jack Bauer, and this is the longest day of my life. What a show. Best show ever, one of them. Better than this shitty streaming stuff. Name me one good streaming show that can compete with 24 and Prison Break and Lost. Those were top tier shows back in the day. That was revolutionary television. Now it's all pretty much the same shit. And all the actors on the shows and films talk about, oh, I'm so passionate about inclusion. Not your character, not storytelling. All you care about is inclusion. I want people to see themselves on the screen. I'm Greek Cypriot, love. I've never seen myself on the screen since Harry Enfield was doing the Stavros impersonation, right? Superman weren't eating a doner kebab while he was flying in the air, right? Did I relate to Soups? Of course I did. I don't need to see myself on the telly, and neither do you. You need to see great characters you can aspire to be. Aspiration is not seeing yourself on the telly. I aspired to be Michael Knight. Was he chomping a kebab? Is he Greek Cypriot? No, but I aspire to be him. I aspire to be Superman because he's great, right? He was a white man, right? I'm a Greek Cypriot. I have Greek Cypriot parents. Did I need to see myself in Superman? No. It's aspirational. It's not about seeing yourself. But you nutjobs will never understand that. Never. John, 24 was great. It was like a long movie. Oh, my God. What a show. What an achievement. I'd much rather watch every season of that back to back than bother with the shitty streaming things. I'm actually on streaming strike. Well, I'm not. I'm lying because I watched Loki today. But mostly I'm on streaming strike. I mean, I'm subscribed to Netflix and a lot of them. But I've made a decision lately just to watch physical media. I don't care anymore. I'm fed up of streaming. And you know what? Even the fucking 4K shit on streaming, it isn't like watching it on a Blu-ray. Because if your internet suddenly goes bad, it's just weird. It's not as good as it is on Blu-ray 4K anyway. But anyway, that's my rant. That's how I feel about the modern day entertainment industry. I'd love to be locked alone in a room with these people and not do anything aggressive or anything, but just debate with them, you know, constructively and intelligently, because they're not intelligent people. They don't make sense. And their hatred of men is just irrational. Irrational. I worry about young boys who are seeing all this hatred towards our gender. You know, all these young boys are committing suicide, attempting suicide, suffering with depression. Many more men and boys are ending their lives, more than women. But everyone cares and worries about women more. We should all care about each other, no matter how we identify. We're all human beings. This nonsense really has to stop so we can become a better, more loving, compassionate society. Because this hatred, and it's all about social media. Social media has killed our society. Now, I thrive on social media. I love social media. I love Twitter. I love YouTube. I love all of them. They're great. But that doesn't stop me from believing that social media is destroying our society. It's made us an angrier society. We see different opinions. We get wound up. Right, it's not good for us. But there's no going back. Social media now runs the world. It's kind of a depressing thought. I love the interactions with you guys on here, on Twitter, everything. It's great, but I'd give it all up for a better society. The society we used to have. Yeah, we weren't perfect. Obviously, the young kids tell us how bad we was. We're this, we're that, we're the other. Listen, no society is perfect, but we tried our best. We tried our best. That's all I can say. And this generation isn't perfect either. You talk about accountability. This generation does. But, they're not accountable to anyone, but we are. That's interesting as well, isn't it? So, yeah. That's my thoughts on that. So we have 15 minutes to go of this stream, right? I've now been on the air. Should we call it on the air or whatever you want to call it for about an hour? So we got till, well, it will be 9:30 when I wrap this up here. Who knows what your timings are where you are? I genuinely hope that you enjoy the streams, that I'm giving you something, that you're taking away something and you think this was a good stream. I like coming to this guy's stream. I like watching this guy's videos. I genuinely hope so. Even if it's 3 to 6 of you, it doesn't really matter. To have just a couple of people enjoy what I do is more than I ever imagined. You know, as a young boy, I wanted to do this when there was no internet. I wanted to express myself, you know, and it's so nice to have a few people appreciate what I do, because it's nice to have people hearing you. For me, it is. I mean, I like it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, I understand, but I like it. I like doing this. It's cool. And we're going to have a lot to talk about in the next couple of months. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is not far away. Black Widow is not far away. We're going to have real huge movies to talk about, and I can't wait. And something tells me everyone's going to be talking about the Loki finale as well. I think that's going to kick off something. Secret Wars. Secret Wars, as I said earlier on in the stream, is something I'm really looking forward to. I'm not even an MCU stan, but that sounds like a great series. Just to have Sam Jackson back as Fury is very exciting. That was a big coup getting him from the beginning. Wow. But he's an MCU fan anyway and a Star Wars fan. I mean, he's done them both. In fact, John, I enjoy your videos. Thank you, John. I appreciate that, and I enjoy your company. Thank you very much. You know, after The Force Awakens, I was talking to my niece and my brother-in-law, and we were all getting excited. And we said, what if Finn is kind of related through ancestry to Samuel Jackson's character from the Star Wars prequels? And these were the exciting theories we had. What was the problem? One of the problems is with The Last Jedi. I don't hate The Last Jedi. I just find it underwhelming. Is that Abrams gave us so many possibilities, and then Johnson took every possibility away. And, you know, it's like he pulled the rug from underneath us. You know, and I mean, it's his responsibility to do what he wants to do, of course. But I think Rian Johnson should have done a Star Wars story or a Star Wars trilogy unrelated to the sequel trilogy. Then he could have done whatever the fuck he wanted, and Abrams could have just done his trilogy, which he didn't. I don't understand that. So I don't think Rian Johnson is a bad person or a bad creative. I just don't think you come into the middle of a franchise and allow someone to do whatever they wanted. It's really similar to what Joss Whedon did with Justice League. But I wouldn't say that, you know, I'm not saying The Last Jedi is anywhere low core like Justice League, of course. I think The Last Jedi has got its fans. For me, it's underwhelming. It's just underwhelming. It's not a bad film. It's just, excuse me, it's just a very underwhelming film. That's how I see it. It never made me angry. Never made me angry. I just saw the end of it and I was like that. Oh my God, is this it? I thought to myself, I'm bored of Star Wars. The film literally made me bored of Star Wars. Not hate Star Wars. It didn't ruin my childhood because I had the classics, 6 classics from Lucas. Not about that. When I finished watching The Last Jedi, I just thought, this film's made me not be passionate about Star Wars anymore. It's like, how does something do that? To do that, right? You go in and you're pumped to watch this film. And when you leave the movie theater, it's just like, I'm not interested in Star Wars anymore. How did that happen via 2.5 hours? That's nuts, right? So I didn't hate it. To a point, I can see why he made Skywalker this old, grumpy old man. It's logical, right? But no one asked for that. Nobody wanted that. That's the problem. John, I hated the Knight Rider reboot TV series. Do you know what? I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I'm not saying it's anywhere near the classic show we used to watch, John. But do you know what? Val Kilmer was actually an excellent kid. I kind of liked him. Now, Justin, the guy who played Michael Knight's son, listen, I think he did okay. And I mean, the fight that Kit and Carl had was pretty interesting and awesome. But yeah, I mean, it was overly modernized. It was kind of like Transformers in a way rather than Knight Rider. Listen, I appreciated the arc they were doing. It was kind of good. I did enjoy it to a point, but they started doing this kind of love interest thing, and it was Team Knight Rider. It was like watching the Arrowverse, wasn't it? You had Team Kit, didn't you? Listen, elements of it were good, elements of it weren't so good. That's what I say. But I have got it on my Prime Video. I did buy it, and I do like watching it from time to time. But obviously, people didn't come in to watch it. But Knight Rider is a timeless thing. If you got Knight Rider right, it would be awesome. Ronnie Dodge had my dinner. I'm back. Well, I'm shocked, Ronnie. I thought you left me for the night, but I appreciate you returning. We've had some interesting conversations while you've been gone. We've been talking about a lot of things. I've been saying I don't care if one person only comes into my streams. I'm persistent in making this channel successful. I appreciate anyone who comes into the channel and keeps me company, and I don't care how many. You are my friends because you're being supportive, you're being polite, you're passionate about what I'm passionate. You may not like the entertainment I like. That's okay. We can agree to disagree. We can debate. That's what social media should be about. But we must understand, just because I don't agree with you or you don't agree with me, that's not a justification for hatred, right? That's a justification just to have a debate. And isn't it great that we can debate our entertainment, our geek? I think that's a wonderful thing. I mean, there's people out there that think Christopher Reeve's Superman's a murderer. I don't agree. There's people who think Tyler Hoechlin's Superman's a murderer. I don't agree. We can agree to disagree if you're constructive about these things. Ronnie Dodge, it would be boring if we all like the same things. Of course, we're human beings. That's what's fascinating about the human condition, isn't it, Ronnie, that we're all different? Because we're all an amalgamation from our backgrounds, of course. Because a child's mind is like a sponge. So as kids, we soak it all in. It forms our characters, but we develop our own personalities. Scott Edwards, what's up? What's up, Scott? How are you doing? What you got to tell me tonight? Always great to see Scott Edwards pop in. As it is everyone else, you'll always get a warm welcome from me, all of you. Unless you're the husbands of the women I slept with, then I'll probably just disappear and leave you to it. Anyway, Ronnie Dodge, the people who think Chris and Tyler Superman are a murderer, no guess whose fans they are. I know. Scott Edwards, finished season 5 of Smallville. John, I never knew Val Kilmer voiced Kit. Yes, he did. And he did an amazing job. I don't know what you think about that. Right, Scott, what did you think of season 5 as a whole of Smallville? And what did you think of the finale? I think it was amazing that Clark ends up trapped in the Phantom Zone. That was exciting to me. Ronnie Dodge, so pumped for the Suicide Squad with all the cast reactions. Yeah, the cast are very excited, and so am I. I really liked it. Yeah, it's good. It leaves it in an exciting place. You'll probably want to watch episode 1. Oh, by the way, season 6, episode 1. I forgot what it's called, but it's amazing. The design of the Phantom Zone, those sequences in the Phantom Zone are brilliant. Clark is basically human in the Phantom Zone. He can bleed. He can hurt. Scott Edwards, what is the runtime for Suicide Squad? James Gunn has announced, Scott, that it's 2 hours and 12 minutes approximately. So I think that's a good runtime. I don't know what you think about it. Scott Edwards, it's called Zod. That's right. You're going to love Zod. Zod's great. And they will conclude that, well, kind of conclude that story there. Ben Pottimeyer's Superman and Lois episodes have been so good, I agree. It's good storytelling, and I never thought I'd like Family Superman as much as I do. Listen, when I heard they were doing Family Superman, I said, typical CW, typical Arrowverse, boring, and they've even put Lois's name in it. Bad memories of the Lois and Clark show. But it's so good, so good. Every week is shocked. I mean, this guy being Superman's brother is a new dynamic, isn't it? Brilliant. I couldn't agree more, Ben Pottimeyer. Ronnie Dodge, 2 hours and 12 minutes is perfect for me, a little bit shorter than Cruella. True. Scott Edwards, watch any Stargirl lol? No, but I did see the season 2 trailer and I liked it. It's convincing me to go and watch the first season. I'm definitely going to watch it, Scott. Definitely. With me, it's motivation. Like today, I watched Loki episode 2. So because I'm quite busy, I watch one thing and I've got no time to watch anything else. As well, I'm working, I'm pitching, I'm writing. I've got my disabled father here. There's a lot to do in my day. It's difficult. I wish I could go back to the old days where I could just watch shit all day, but unfortunately, I can't do that. And I'm updating my socials all day as well to try and keep relevant. Yeah. So there's a lot to do in my day. John, is Smallville season 6 when Supergirl comes in the show? No, that's Smallville season 7. She pretty much is in it for the whole season. Then she returns for one episode of season 8 and one episode of season 10, actually called Supergirl. John, there was no need to retract that message. Scott Edwards, yay. Ronnie Dodge, I hope we get DCEU Games announcements at Fandom. I think we will, Ronnie. I think they're really taking that seriously now. Ben Pottimeyer, I love season 6 of Smallville because Lex 33.1 experiments. Yeah, on his way closer to the dark side. I love it. Oh my God. Because in the original comics, in the kind of original ones, he's a mad scientist. So they embrace that element of Lex Luthor. They embrace the kind of 90s businessman. And then they embrace the mad kind of scientist. He's doing the cloning and everything. And you can see him going dark and what he's doing to Lana. When, at the end of that episode, Crimson, when they talk about Lana's pregnancy being abnormal, I thought, fucking hell, what have they done here? Are they doing Connor Kent? Is she carrying Connor Kent? Is he using Clark's DNA with his own? It really blew my mind. It's a great season. The introduction to Justin Hartley's Green Arrow was awesome as well. Scott Edwards. So are you going to catch up on season 1 in time for season 2 premiere, August the 10th? I should imagine so, Scott, yeah. Ronnie Dodge, anything like a Superman or a Wonder Woman game, I'm down. Oh, yeah. Scott Edwards, does Lana leave the show at peace with Clark? It's a tragic ending, but yeah, they love each other, but they literally, physically can't be together. You'll find out why. She leaves in season 7, comes back in season 8, and that's the last time you'll see her. I'm sorry, Scott, there's no happy endings there. It's going to be better for Clark and Lana, of course. Clark and Lois. And in Superman and Lois, we actually saw Superman and Lana face to face. This is interesting. I've got a good new name for Superman and Lois. Superman and Lana. What do you reckon about that? Imagine if they kill Lois and then it's Superman and Lana. How fucked up would that be? Scott Edwards, Zod is main villain of season 9, right? Yes. The real Zod, played by an actor called Callum Blue. Look him up. He did a really good job. We get Metallo in season 9. We get lots of DC characters. We see the real Jor-El. Well, a clone version of Jor-El, but you meet a brand new actor playing him. It's not Terrence Stamp's voice. So you're starting season 6. Wow, how exciting. And then at the end of season 6, you're going to meet Bizarro. And then Bizarro will be around in season 7. Scott Edwards, what is the difference between season 9 Zod and season 6 Zod? Well, season 6 Zod is the real Zod inside of Lex's body. Season 9 Zod is basically what happens. The Kandorians cloned the Council of Krypton, right? So what happens is after the planet explodes, there's this, I forgot what it is. I can't remember what it was. It's some element from Krypton, and it's housing all these Kandorians, all their kind of DNA, their clones. It's not the real them, it's their clones. So this is who this Zod is. That's the difference. The real one in season 6, a clone of him. But you've never seen his face in season 6, have you? In season 5, right? When you saw Zod in season 5, he's in the mirror thing. You can vaguely see him, but it's faint. In season 9, you get to see who he actually was, but it's actually a clone of him. Ben Pottimeyer, it's perfect because he's so obsessed with power and mysteries of the universe, and it's ultimately his own fault. It's hard for Clark to trust Lex because Lex is curious and obsessed. Yeah, this is what I love about the show. It's so clever because Lex is saying, "Why? If you were honest with me, Clark, things would have been different. They wouldn't have been. We all know that, but Lex is delusional and doesn't get that. And Clark knows he can't trust him. Well, there's times in the early series that Clark wanted to be honest, and Jonathan said, "No, trust me, son. You can't trust the Luthers." It's great foreshadowing. The show is genius. It's clever. It's got so many elements. The power of Smallville is its character dynamics. Jonathan and Martha, Jonathan, Martha and Clark, Jonathan and Clark, Lionel and Jonathan, Lionel and Martha, Chloe and Clark, Chloe and Lionel, Lana and Clark, Lex and Clark. Lex and Lionel was the most powerful dynamic. The show was just so clever. Ronnie Dodge, I hope we get a tease of Sasha's Supergirl emblem soon. She's the only one left. I don't think Ben will be in the costume. That's the rumour. But we know what rumours do in this game. Scott Edwards, why does it seem like Jor-El has bad intentions at first? Because that's the idea of the show, to make Jor-El look like the bad father. He's not. He's giving him trials. The point is, he needs Clark. He's testing Clark. He's seeing how Clark's going to react. Because these are the situations Clark will be put into as Superman. So he's testing him. Oh boy, I love talking about Smallville. Ronnie Dodge definitely wants a Superman game. It's been too long. Yeah, we've never had a great Superman game. I hope now that they're really going for this now, that they really start adapting the DCEU films into games. It'll be so cool. Scott Edwards, crossover event starts November the 16th. Yeah, 5 episodes in Flash. I predict some of those crossovers will actually be DCEU characters. Very interesting. I think it's very interesting, the timing of it. November, wow. Who could be in it? We could get another cameo from Ezra Miller. How cool would that be? And November is after Fandom as well, so that's interesting. Me having 11 viewers on a stream is like having 1 million. Where are we? Ben Pottymeyer, I love the Bart Allen episode, the end where they race and the Flash's runs back work at the same speed as Clark, then he zooms off. Yeah, they really gave us the iconic Superman Flash race, and I appreciate that. It was awesome. Scott Edwards, I think next year's crossover will tie into Flashpoint. I think so too. I'm convinced of it, Scott. Ronnie Dodge, November the 16th for season 8 of The Flash is so close from Fandom. Very interesting. Very, very curious. And by the way, they've announced the premiere dates. Now, normally, when they announce those premiere dates, I don't know when they do the upfronts. I don't know. They probably haven't done the upfronts yet. I think when they do the upfronts, we will know if Flash is being cancelled, if we're going to get more. Very interesting. They may want Flash to equal or beat Smallville's 10-season record. We will see. Although Arrow had 8 seasons, it probably makes sense that Flash will have 8 seasons as well. What do we think about that? Ronnie Dodge, no, I've already read that. Yeah, so I think Flash will be cancelled, but it won't be the end of Grant Gustin as the Flash. That's my prediction. Unless they reboot the series with Impulse after season 8, which would make it a different show. They could call it Impulse, couldn't they? You could have Impulse season 1, and all of that. So that could be a way of recreating another Flash show, which is something I would consider doing. Ronnie Dodge, I think Grant will join over the DCEU in the multiverse. Yeah, I think so as well. I think he deserves cameos, movies, the lot. He's a great Flash. He really is. And we can have 2 Flashes. We can have 5 Batman, 5 Superman, 5-star girls. It doesn't matter. It's a multiverse. It's exciting. If you hear a character being cast, it doesn't mean your favourite version is being cancelled. It's the Henry Cavill thing. If Henry Cavill doesn't say he's not Superman anymore, then he's still Superman. It's as simple as that. When he's not Superman, it will be announced. I assure you of that. Ronnie Dodge, I can't wait to see Grant's Lightning in the Flash movie looking cinematic. Oh yeah, and maybe both Lightnings, if they run together, will converge together to create a way of maybe both of them going back. And maybe they can only reboot the universe if they reboot the universe together. Grant Gustin could have more to say in this film than anyone can imagine. Wow, I'm getting myself pumped. By things I don't even know are surely going to happen, but isn't that what being a fan's all about? Right, guys, I'm going to give you another 4 minutes. So get your comments in before I have to say goodbye. It's quite weird. We started off with 3 people in the chat over an hour ago, and I thought, and some others thought it'd be dead, but it's kind of livened up a bit. John, I really got into Smallville when Lois came into the show. I mean, I was a Smallville fan from the very beginning, but I love Erica's Lois Lane for sure. Ronnie Dodge, maybe Grant and Ezra are doing a movie together. They are great together. Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, if they're doing a Green Lantern Corps movie with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, then, you know, anything's possible, isn't it? The potential for DC live action is huge now. But as I keep on saying, it is about the execution. It is important. You can have as many multiverses, you can have the strategy, but your directors, your producers have got to do good movies, great movies. Every DC movie's got to be great. Every DC show's got to be great. That's the level. From now on, we've got to be striving towards. And of course, don't forget, I do the Movies TV Mad Daily Live every morning. And then I do Movies TV Mad Live where we just talk like this in the evening. Ronnie Dodge, like David Zaslav said yesterday, we are going to be the biggest media in the world. We are coming, Marvel and Disney, definitely. There's a lot of ambition there. There's talk. Let's hope there's a bite to that talk. There's a bite to that bark. Ronnie Dodge, anything drops, I will message you, mate. Thank you, Ronnie. I very much appreciate that. Ben Pottimore, it would be cool to as character study like the Joker, but use Lex Luthor. Yeah, that would be dope to dive into a new backstory to see why he is the way he is. Yes, it's interesting because I feel Smallville kind of already did that. But did you see my editorial last night? I did an editorial, it probably hit this morning, about rumours from Geekosity, Mikey Sutton's site. They're saying that they could be doing a Dark Side limited series on HBO Max. I believe this could be a character study movie like you're talking about, Lex. I think Todd Phillips's Black Label could be looking to develop a Dark Side movie, a Prince Euxus movie before he becomes Dark Side. A character study like you're talking there about Lex. If they were to do that, I think that would be sensational. And no character deserves it more than Darkseid. A Ronnie Dodge Darkseid HBO series would be cool. Ray Porter, come on, mate. Yeah, Ray Porter has to do it because he is fucking amazing. He's such a great voice actor. So I wouldn't mind Zack Snyder doing that, by the way, but, probably unlikely that it's him. But if those rumours are true, It might not be an HBO Max show. It may actually be a black label like the Joker. That could be the Joker sequel they're talking about. It could be just disguised as a Joker sequel, but we'll have to wait and see. Right, guys, it's been a great stream. I have to love you and leave you. If you're rewatching the video, comment down below, like, share, and subscribe. Now, once you subscribe, important, tap the notification bell. You'll know when all my content's coming. And why wouldn't you want to know, right? You want to see me. You know it. Ronnie Dodge, take care, mate. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Ronnie. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the messages. Thank you for keeping me updated. And I will see you tomorrow morning when we're back with the Movies TV Mad Daily Live. Hopefully loads of gossip, loads of articles to read. I love doing that show. I love doing this show. Ronnie Dodge, leave a like, guys. Thank you, Ronnie. That's very much appreciated. Yes, if you haven't given a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and support John. Take care. You too, John. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the support. Always very much appreciated. So it's the Movies TV Mad Daily Live tomorrow. And as usual, around 6:30 p.m. UK time in the evening, check your local times. It's Movies TV Mad Live. So don't forget to check that out as well. Until then, I'm over on Twitter, also at Movies TV Mad. So until tomorrow, I will see you later. Goodbye.